Hello, Dr. Darvasi. Hope you're having a great day. It's none other than Isaac Tamblyn, Isaac Fox Tamblyn to be precise. And at this very moment, I am going to be recording my Finnegans Wake project reflection. So, what has been the best part of the project? You know, how can I pick one thing? I really loved making the website. It was frustrating at times, ran some difficult things, but it was quite a fun undertaking trying to design it and make it look good and all that stuff. I also really enjoyed being in a group with my friends, Andrew and Jacob. I think we had a lot of fun with it. We were still productive, but we had a ton of fun finding these obscure but still plausible connections. It was very, very amusing and and at a certain point we felt like we were developing some sort of psychosis where we're seeing strange patterns everywhere that weren't there. Let's see, what has been the hardest part of the project? In some ways, getting the website to work. There were some formatting things that were really difficult. Getting the sidebars that you'll see on my website where the annotations pop up to look good and not be really weirdly formatted was pretty difficult, and making sure they actually don't crop weirdly and stuff like that. That was probably the hardest part, as well as I helped my peers find some connections, which was pretty difficult at points. What have I learned that I didn't know at the beginning of this project? What have I learned that I didn't know at the beginning of this project? Well, I've learned a whole lot about Finnegans Wake. I've learned various, the thing about it is, with the sort of kind of esoteric nature of a lot of these references, I've learned some kind of specific, seemingly random information. I've learned about Saint Sebastian, the 3rd century Roman soldier, or I've learned about Caesar Augustus or whatever, or we had to learn a bit about Tom Sawyer to answer one of the things, or we've learned about a 19th, 20th century fountain pen company. So we've learned a lot of kind of funny, random, obscure knowledge. The most valuable thing I learned, or I guess the most valuable skill I honed throughout this project, was probably, maybe a bit of a cliche, but it's true. You got your good old teamwork, This project would have gone a lot worse and would have taken a lot longer and would have been a lot more grief if we had all been very sectioned off in our individual roles, but we spent a lot of time giving each other feedback, helping each other with our connections and definitions and stuff, and giving input, and that kind of collaboration produced a much better final product, I believe, than, we are greater than the sum of our parts, right? So that's a valuable piece of knowledge that, when you're a well-coordinated group, you can be greater than the sum of your parts and produce some really cool stuff. What are some concerns and misgivings about what I've experienced in this project? As I said before, and I think you may have mentioned this at some point, I definitely I feel like I'm seeing more patterns now and connections and strange things like that have a varying degree of actual basis in reality. In some ways I'm looking deeper at things, but I also feel like sometimes I'm just noticing random connections that aren't there, but fueled by my work on this intricately interconnected book, the the world seems a little bit more interconnected. That could be a good or bad thing depending on how you look at it. And that is also a way this project is connected to my life. I think I'm seeing things in a slightly different way. And this book, at least this very small portion of this book that I've studied throughout this project, has been incredibly interesting. And while I don't know if at this stage in my life, or perhaps at any, I have the sort of the patience and dedication and all kinds of other things to dedicate time to reading and understanding Finnegans Wake. That is somewhat of a Herculean task. I think I've grown an appreciation for it. Hopefully, maybe that'll grow into a broader appreciation of Joyce's body of work, and I think maybe it'll give me a new view on literature, perhaps even life itself. River Run. That's what we got here. Adios, sir. Have a good couple weeks.